This is the plaintiff, Kristen Kroll. She says the defendant, her neighbor, at 2 a.m. on Christmas Eve crashed his van into her garage door, damaging it something awful. He did the neighborly thing and left a note claiming responsibility, but 6 months later hasn't fixed it or given her the money to fix it. She doesn't want to turn this into the Hatfields versus the McCoys, but she wants her $496, and that's just what she's suing for today. This is the defendant, Joseph Caldara. He says he was tired and had a lot of things on his mind and forgot to put his van in park, and it rolled into the plaintiff's garage. He's a handyman who came from Sicily when he was 12 years old with a hammer in his hand, and he told her he'd fix it good as new. But then he got a nasty letter from the lawyer demanding all his money. Bottom line, he's ready, willing, and able to fix the door and is just asking for a chance. He's accused of being a negligent neighbor.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff woke up on Christmas Eve to a crash. The defendant drove his van into her garage door and he won't pay. But the defendant says he's a handyman and he can fix it. It's the case of Mr. Handy Ain't So Dandy.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Kristen Kroll?
Yes.
You are suing your neighbor, Joseph Caldara?
Hi.
For $496, the amount to repair a garage door that, according to you, he destroyed. Correct? Yes. What happened?
Well, sometime in the night of, I guess, the morning of December 24th, Christmas Eve, he hit my garage door. He left me a
Merry
note.
Christmas.
Right.
Okay.
He left me a note under my door, so I found it that morning explaining.
Where do you two live in relation to each other?
He lives above me. We live in a condo building.
Okay.
And then there's a row of garages behind the building, which is where my garage was. So
Okay.
He left me a letter under my door.
What was he doing parking at? Is his parking space next to your garage? I don't get it.
No, he does not have a garage.
Okay.
He just parks in the regular parking spaces. He hit my garage door.
Because the regular parking spaces are next to the garage door?
No.
Oh, okay. How did he end up hitting your garage door? Do you know?
That he would have to probably explain
Okay.
that to you.
So go ahead. He left you a note saying?
Saying that he had hit my
Accidentally
garage
hit-
door and that he'd take responsibility for it, to call him the next day, you know, being a very nice neighbor, explaining himself, taking responsibility. So I appreciated that. So I called him the next day and he explained to me what happened. And
what did he say?
He said that he had fallen, he didn't put the car in park and it hit my garage door and that he was very tired. And apologized and whatnot, but so...
Were you hitting the eggnog or late on gifts? Which was it that
Your
had you
Honor,
stressed?
Million, I'll be honest with you, I felt a little bit embarrassed about the situation.
How did you end up hitting the door?
What happened is that I got home like 1:45 in the morning. By the way, she's very kind about me letting me use her garage anytime I wasn't there. Anytime she would not park, I was welcome to park in her garage. And our parking space.
Were you going to use her garage that night?
Yes, because I had the permission from Miss Crawl for the last 2 years.
Are you looking at her face?
Well, she knows that. I hope she's not telling a lie.
There was several times, maybe 3 years ago, that he had asked me to use the garage. I went on vacation one time in January. It was a snowstorm. I said, you can go ahead and use it. That's fine. There were periodical other times that he'd asked me that. But as far as if you've been using it recently, I've had no knowledge of it.
Did she ever give you permission to hit it?
No.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter that much. Don't
Your
get too
Honor,
hung
no,
up
of
on
course
this.
not, Your Honor.
But so go ahead. So what happened that night?
But what's happening is this, Miss Crawl. I welcome to our neighborhood. That's how we became buddies mostly. She knows that.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
But what happened is that I came home. I didn't see her car for 3 or 4 days or more. Okay, and I started worrying a little bit. She's my neighbor, a little bit. I even called her the next couple of days, and she said, "Thank you for the call," because I was wondering. So it was kind of cold. Since she doesn't park there as much, I felt like, I said, I wonder if her car is there. A lot of things into my mind. I was very tired, I'll be honest with you, Honor. And I only had 3-4 hours of sleep. No, not even.
Were you at a party?
No, not even that. No. If I have a beer once every 2-3 days, it's not enough.
Okay, so it's 1:45 in the morning. It's not enough. Yeah,
I'm just joking. I said that just to
that
make
was
you
a little
laugh.
slip, huh?
I just said to make you laugh.
So 1:45 in the morning, and what happened?
So anyway, I approached the garage door within 4 to 5 feet away, and I'd be honest, I forgot to put the van on park. So it was a neutral and the door was open. So I walked out and I went to use the code to open the garage door, the code, which I gave it to her when she moved. She didn't even know the code number. After 2 months, I even gave her
your car into her
So as soon as I started, Your Honor, as I started to push the numbers, all of a sudden I heard boom, the car just, and it was too late. Real quick, I jumped in the van. By that time, I pushed the brakes, but I already had damaged the door.
Okay.
Right there. And thank God that the door still works up to now. Okay, I pressed the numbers.
Picture of it?
Yeah, it was working. It's up and down. Yes, it goes up.
And thankfully it works because my car was in it at the time. So if it didn't
Your
work,
car
my
was in
It was, yeah. And I was just taking a
Because
guess,
it was
because
1:45
she
in the
actually
morning.
told me out of her own
Why did you
kindness.
Look, girl, change your code.
Perhaps she didn't know, or maybe we didn't know they could have been done, but nevertheless, Miss Cole, she actually told me, Joe, you're welcome to park the car anytime you see my car outside, out of her own kindness. She actually told me that many times, more than once.
Oui.
And I appreciate it.
Okay, so I appreciate it, and you walk into the neighborhood, but why haven't you fixed her garage door? This happened on Christmas Eve.
One time I said to her, and things weren't going well that month. Okay, business was down and a little slow. I didn't have much funds.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a traveling salesman, sportswear, and my friend does silk screen printing, and I help him out. So what happened is that as months went by and days went by, but I told her that I would fix it right
you said you would
That's
fix it.
fabulous, but why didn't you fix it?
It just never happened.
How are you going to fix it?
Well, here's the story. Then I offer, as months went forward, I said to her, I says, listen, I says, Kristen said, would you give me the opportunity, I says, to try to fix it 75, 85%? I could probably do it myself. Or with her boyfriend now that he's back, his boyfriend is living there now. I even asked her again one more time. She says, no. She says, I want my door replaced, the whole door. I called the maintenance man that works around the condos there, and his estimate was going to be $335 over the phone. And he didn't even mail it to me for one reason or another.
All right. So did you ever say to him, yes, you could fix it yourself or no?
No.
Okay. So you told him, I don't want you fixing it.
I said
according to you, you're a handyman,
Also, Your Honor.
Are you a handyman?
Yeah, I could be. I'm a pretty good handyman. Also, I offer $50.
You came from Sicily with a hammer in your hands, is how you phrase it.
Your Honor, it's not the case.
Okay.
I even offered $50 not too long ago. I was willing to make restitution little by little. And she says, no, she says, I talked to my brother.
Hit
because
it
her
all
brother's
at
an
once,
attorney.
pay it all at once.
But I even tried my best. And
Do you have an off button?
they call me a liar to
Do
her
you
brother.
have an off button?
Do I have what? Excuse me?
Press the off button on you.
So does she have a duty to let him try and fix it in the first place?
No, I think that she can get her own bids. She doesn't have no obligation.
But does she have to give him a shot at fixing it first?
It would be nice if she did and gave him a chance to try to fix what he did wrong.
Why? He's an amateur handyman.
That's why he's a handyman. Come on now. He's going to make some dollars. Yeah, definitely. Give him a chance.
Wow. You would not.
will.
You would not. Going inside the courtroom.
All right. So you tell him, no, I don't want you fixing it yourself. And then what do you tell him? You get an estimate and you tell him this is what you have to pay.
Well, then he said, well, we could have, how would you feel if I replaced 2 of the panels and I hammered out the 3rd one myself? And I said, no, I'm still not comfortable with that. I want everything you repaired to be new.
Everything you damaged
And then
to
he
be
said,
repaired.
well, how about this? I'll have them replace 2. I'll hammer the other one out. And if you don't like that, I'll have them then replace the 3rd one for you. And, so either way, if I said I didn't like
And
it.
then he went out and got an estimate because he says he got an estimate for 3 something.
Fine.
And then what happened?
Then-
it's a little bit like my house on the weekends. The honey-do list at my house, honey do this, honey do that. And then I tell my husband, okay, it's the weekend, you're gonna fix this now. And he looks me right in the eye and says, in many ways, you and I are very different. Honest to God, this is what he says. I'm like the gentle manatee, getting there eventually. You're like a shark, always in motion. Relax, we're on break. This is a union shop. I'm having a cup of coffee. These are the things he says to me on the weekend. She gave you all these months to get it done, and you didn't get it done. How much more patient do you want her to be?
Well, I had other priorities prior to this, and I was hoping.
Who's not being a good neighbor?
I was hoping, Your Honor, I didn't have enough funds. Otherwise, Kristen, she knows very well that I would have taken care of it. But
Okay, listen, Mr.
I didn't need
Caldara,
to be
she
called a
cannot
liar.
deposit your I would have taken care of it.
But
She
I
can
didn't-
only deposit money. So you have to either take care of it, or, all these months you could have been putting that $50, $20, whatever. And then before going to court, before she lost her patience, you would say, here's $300, here's $400. You could have tried something. You had an estimate for 3 something. You should just taken care of it. You didn't. Now we're going to go by her estimate, which is eminently reasonable. $496, verdict for the plaintiff.
And so the judge has ruled for the plaintiff here. This is the defendant. What happened?
what happened is
What happened?
everyone heard about what happened is that I damaged my neighbor's door, and things happen in life, So
Yeah.
and That's it.
How was it that it got all the way into court? Why didn't you go over there, fix the door, do whatever?
I didn't think he was going to come here, but nevertheless, I like to say something. I appreciate everyone that is involved here that made this happen possible, and we both are winners. You know, every end has its beginning, and every beginning has its end. We all have to, be aware of things, And I was hoping they would have been on my side. The judge did not rule it on my favor. So, and life goes on. I would have bought maybe some extra cookies at a party with my friends.
Okay, good. All right, right down this way. Right, I'll have some McDonald's over there. All right, so there he is. There he goes. What's it like being his neighbor?
It's interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah, never a dull moment. I'm just glad this is all over, and hopefully that's the end of anything. So.
Well, don't you think he had your best interest in mind if you maybe given him a chance? He says you didn't give him a chance.
I gave him 6 months. I think that's more than a chance.
Oh, come on. Give the guy a chance.
Oh, okay. You give him a chance.
All right. Harvey?
I gotta tell you something. Even if this guy were a professional handyman, the best handyman in the world, she doesn't have an obligation to use him to fix the garage door. She can go out and get a reasonable estimate, and he's gonna have to pay no matter how good he is, no matter how well he could have fixed that garage door.